coming up only to hold you under. I'm coming up only to show you roll. And to know you is hard. We wonder. Really too late to call, so we wait for morning to wake you is all we got. But to know me as hardly golden is to know me all wrong they would. To the outside, the dead leaves, they are alone. For they die, had trees to hang their fall. Every occasion I'll be ready for the funeral. Every occasion once more, it's called the funeral.
Today, Top 30 is the only company in the world able to design, produce, set up and manage a top-level competition. Everything within the same company. Everything with the trustworthiness and professionalism that an official competition requires. Everything. Top 30. Top 30.
Well, good morning. Welcome back to Bercy on this, our last day here over in Bercy in Paris for the World Championships. What a day we had yesterday. Welcome back in the chat room if you are joining us there. A long day yesterday, a bit of a shorter day today, kicking things off in just a few moments time with the women's bouldering finals. So brace yourself, get ready for that one. As you can see behind me, the crowd is really starting to gather now. Really starting to get a few of these seats filled up as we move into these first sections of finals down here in Bercy. Well, hello to you, hello world. Welcome back over here to Paris. My name's Daniel Finn, and I'll be with you all the way through this competition. As we can see, just take a bit of a sneak peek at these boulders just down here. These are set by Jamie, the head route setter for the bouldering, and he's a Brit. I was chatting to him just a few moments ago about what we're going to be seeing here, so I can go through with you in a few moments' time what we're going to be looking at. Once we're finished with the bouldering, we'll then go over onto our third and final paraclimbing final here at the World Championships. Two already very eventful, emotional, inspiring Paraclimbing finals, and I'm sure the third one is definitely going to be that one as well, as we join the Amputees for their final. So do stick around for that. Then we'll be taking a short break, not too long, before we come back with the second section of today's coverage, which of course includes the men's lead final and the men's speed final. I know a lot of you are waiting to see the speed events here as well, so don't worry, that's coming as well. Did you catch the women's speed yesterday? I hope you did. I hope some of you are coming back to join us again. I will be back with Sheila in the chat room in just a few moments' time. That's Sheila McCarran, who was with me all through the day yesterday. So we'll be back with that in not very long at all. So do come and join us over in the chat room. If you're joining us on YouTube, pop yourself over onto ifsc.tv and come and join us in the chat. We can answer any questions that you might have there. And while you're also over on YouTube, remember to go onto IFSC's channel and have a look at some of the coverage that we've brought you throughout the year so far this year, and moving into the end of this year as well. Still plenty more to come. We're going to be in Perth next week. Then the week after that, we're over in Atlanta for a lead competition there, so do come and join us for that one. Then we go over to China for 3 weeks. We'll be out there. And then we've also got Kranj at the end of the year, back in Slovenia to finish the year. We started it off there with the bouldering this year. We're going to be finishing it off there as well. So stay tuned on ifsc.tv. I can tell you that the women boulderers have already had their observation time, so we're going to be going straight into the climbing in a short moment's time. We're just waiting for the crowd to fill up, and I'll get back over to the desk and see you there in a few moments' time.
T'es bien. Ouais. Attends, laisse-moi jumper là.
Timothy.
Well, hello there, welcome. If you are joining us, as you can see, the stands are now getting set up and ready to go. Just to take you through the female bouldering finals, here is the start list. These are the athletes we're going to be seeing as we move into the bouldering final, and already there's some huge names. How fantastic to see Cecile Abizou in the bouldering final here, and also Melanie Sandoz. We're used to seeing Melanie Sandoz in the final. Cecile Abizou, 40 years old, had 3 kids, and here she is competing with athletes that are under half her age.
Do you know what? When I woke up this morning, I was thinking, there's something I need to say to them, but I haven't said to them before. The French team listening to Cécile Abizou is mum. Well, mum, obviously, because she is that bit older than the rest of them, and when you think of the likes of Hélène Génicaud, Laura Michelard, and Julia Chanourdi, who are teenagers, obviously she actually, you know, mathematically could be their mother. Actually, her children are slightly younger again, but there you go, mum to her friends.
Well, there you are. Well, we do apologise on some of the camera feed we're getting from the coverage we're at in the field. We're getting our coverage from French TV channel at the moment. And we are here with you today, so welcome. We are live, and We will be here all day. I'm joined by Sheila McCarran, so thank you so much, Sheila, for being with us
Hi,
yet
everybody.
again. Are we going to be seeing you at some other events throughout the year?
Basically, at the moment, I'm not sure. There may be a couple of French ones. As you know, we tend to holiday down in the Briançon area just by coincidence when the competitions are on. But also because my younger daughter now is, my elder daughter will be competing as a Youth A. That's the younger category, isn't it? Or Youth B. Youth B.
So
For the first time this year, so she might be doing some of the French Cups. And if there's an international thing going on at the same time, obviously I'll pop in and say hello.
So for people that are maybe trying to find out about her, what's this name that we are waiting for in the coming years?
I'll give her a chance. Geez, she's only 13. Julianne McCarran. And then there's another one after that called Sophie. I mean, she's more of a boulderer and Julianne is more of a lead climber. So we've got the whole thing. 2020 could be our year.
And you're speed, right? You're a speed
Oh
climber.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, here we are with female bouldering finals. This is our start list, guys. Melanie Sandoz, Olga Iyakoleva, Akio Noguchi, Cecilia Lavizu, Kim Jain, and Anna Storr at the bottom there. At the bottom there, because of coming through highest, I believe, in the...
That's right, the best qualifier will come out last. So in theory, the, in quotes, weaker climber is the first one to come out, but that's a really relative term with the strength of the field that's in this final today. The qualifications and the semis didn't really go to plan if we went by the form book, as you can see by the bib numbers, but we've got who we've got, and it's a quality field because these are the 6, this is the half dozen women who pulled it off on the day in the semis.
Well, they're all huge names. We'll be telling you more about them as we move through the competition. Welcome if you are joining us here at the World Championships for 2012 in Bercy in Paris. There you can hear the crowd getting very excited as we get ready to welcome our first athlete. Okay, guys, just to get things started before we start covering the competition, the questions that we are holding at the moment on the Facebook page for the IFSC for you to have a chance to win some of the World Championship rope. Here's our first question of today. When was the 2020 IFSC Olympic Dream Facebook page created? When was the 2020 IFSC Olympic Dream Facebook page created?
And that's facebook.com/sportclimbing2020. Get over and like it. We wanted 7,500 of you to do so, and we broke it. We broke it this morning. Well done, everybody.
This is coverage of yesterday. This is some of the things that we can expect to see today. There is our world champion in men's bouldering, Dmitry Sharafudinov, next to his teammate Rustam Germanov, and Kilian Fischuber of Austria takes the silver, and there you can see the joy on his face. Well, these are the guys that gave us that show yesterday. And there is Marco, the president of the IFSC, giving him the knighthood there. Look at the emotion on this, some of the paraclimbers that we saw yesterday as well.
I think the paraclimbing just saw me off really in terms of emotion. It was so intense. I said to you when I came back in, because I actually nipped out to the front to watch that competition while Andy was commenting with you. I don't know what got me more, the noise of the crowd to support the athletes, or the sheer silence that was asked of them when the blind climbers were on the wall because they needed to hear their guides, and an absolute respect of the crowd for that. It was what you might call a deafening silence, but it moved me hugely.
Well, this lady here that you're looking at now is Yulia Levochkina, the woman who has consistently broken the world speed record throughout the year, and here she is finally getting the things that she deserves after Chamonix and not making a podium position. Despite breaking the speed world records 3 times there, here she is taking gold at the World Championships. Yes, indeed, yesterday was an eventful day, and we are sure to see an eventful day as we move through today, guys. Plenty of extremely well-known athletes right up there in the finals here, battling it out, tooth and nail and claw, to try and make that podium and to try and take that gold. So not long now. Some comments in the chat room now. SBB, paraclimbing, best sport of all time. Well, I do have an announcement to make regarding the 2020 movement. I've been told this morning by Graham Alderson, the IFSC technical delegate, that as we stand at the moment, there was a vote over the course of this competition from the representatives of each nation. And that vote now means that if we do make it to the 2020 Olympics, and if we are only allowed one discipline, I can tell you now that that discipline is going to be lead climbing. I'm going to hand it over to the MC here for a little while, and we'll talk more about that later on.
C'est le moment. Messieurs, applaudissements pour Isra, c'est le moment. On vous souhaite la bienvenue, messieurs, pour cette deuxième journée des championnats du monde d'escalade. Merci 2012. Alors hier, on a eu déjà énormément d'émotions. Rappelez-vous qu'aujourd'hui, il y a beaucoup de podiums qui se célébreront et surtout un podium qui sera important à suivre dès le début de la première épreuve. On commencera par les finales de bloc féminines. Ça sera le combiné qui sera célébré juste après la première vague de finale. Et du côté du combiné, je pense que vous allez avoir aussi de très très belles surprises. Elles sont deux demoiselles à le faire en finale de bloc devant vous cet après-midi. Et on aura de très bonnes nouvelles à vous annoncer tout à l'heure, mais on découvrira tout ça après les finales de bloc. Car évidemment, en combiné, plus ou moins, depuis les qualifications, les demi-finales et les finales d'hier, les dés sont quand même jetés. On va envoyer directement la présentation des dames pour la finale de bloc. Elles sont 6 au rendez-vous. On vous donnera les palmarès après, pendant leur évolution. Je voudrais aussi qu'on fasse un tonnerre d'applaudissements à celui qui va être mon binôme et qui va vous apporter des commentaires techniques que vous allez apprécier. Applaudissements pour Monsieur François Legrand. Alors on y va et on ne perd pas de temps. Je vous demande d'accueillir la première finaliste ce soir pour le bloc ou cet après-midi. Elle est membre de l'équipe de France. Faites un maximum de bruit pour Mélanie Sandoz. Deuxième finaliste cet après-midi, she's from Russia. Make some noise for Mrs. Olga Yakovleva, Russia. Il va falloir faire attention à cette demoiselle, elle est très en forme sur les demi. Troisième finaliste, elle nous arrive de l'équipe japonaise, elle est actuellement deuxième mondiale. Applaudissements pour mademoiselle Akio Noguchi. Quatrième finaliste, et qui va être présente aussi pour le classement du combiné, une légende française. Applaudissements pour mademoiselle Cécile Abazou. sur le combiné. Elle a été magnifique hier avec sa deuxième place. Applaudissements pour la Coréenne, l'incroyable Kim Jong-il. Et la dernière, en finale, elle est championne du monde en titre, première du classement mondial cette saison. Applaudissements, messieurs, dames, pour l'Autrichienne, mademoiselle Anna Storm, world champion. Allez, merci, hier on était chaud bouillant, je voudrais une ovation pour les finalistes. Thank you very much. Good luck, everybody. On va les laisser partir. Et puis, François, j'espère que tu as pris ton micro. On va, comme à l'habitude hier, déjà je voudrais savoir, s'il vous plaît, dans le public, levez la main.
Well, both of us were having a bit of a moment there, weren't we, Sheila, as they all came out, because we kind of got into this strange Russian doll situation. Did anybody else
So the further they
notice
came,
that?
the longer it went, the shorter they were as they came out. And then Anna Stur broke the mold there.
I was disappointed that Anna came out last. I wanted them to get progressively smaller
Gosh,
until we
should
reached
have had a word
Kim.
with the organisers before. Could she not have just had an extra attempt at that last block yesterday? She'd have qualified for, in last place. More seriously, in case you're wondering, they have had an observation time on these routes earlier on before the Mr. Beatbox came onto the stage. I will not be translating the content of what he put into the microphone, you'll be pleased to hear. But they've had their observation time and we've had a word with the route setters, so we have a bit of a clue what's in store, and we'll update you as we move through these 4 problems in the final.
Well, some shout-outs then in the chat room now from Jacob saying, oh, poor Shauna sitting at home with a broken leg thinking, I am stronger than these girls. Well, maybe so, but she's definitely not sitting at home. She's here. She'll be in the crowd somewhere. I don't doubt that for a second. I was chatting to Dave Barons and that team yesterday throughout the Saturday. So Shauna's been here all the way through. Managed to have a chat with her. If you want to hear me catching up and see me catching up with Shauna, get yourself over onto the YouTube page for IFSC's coverage, and you can see all of the coverage of the interviews we've been doing over the past few days.
Also, Kim Puccio, who we're used to seeing in the chat room. If you're expecting her to come online and be chatting with us, you'll be disappointed because she's here in the crowd. I met her earlier, got a chance to say hello finally face to face. She is so, Alex is just so like her mother, you know, physically.
Very much so, yeah.
Facially,
I actually bumped into Alex outside this morning and stubbed her toe. I feel quite bad about it.
Oh.
She's wearing flip-flops. What did she
Well,
expect?
thank goodness she's not climbing.
Exactly.
Or you could have ruined her
I
medal
had a kind of
chances.
heart in the chest moment as we were outside.
Oh no, it's okay, you didn't qualify.
Well, those
And
are
Angela Eiter, is sitting out front as well with a grin from one ear right the way over to the other one. Of course, because she won the lead climbing last night, retaining her title.
Well, welcome. These are our potential champions. These are our finalists. I have to say, Mike's just reminded me as well, Kim Jong-il must be extremely tired right now.
Yeah, because the finals went on late last night. The podiums finished slightly later than planned. It was supposed to finish at 11:15, I think, and we tied up about 11:45.
We didn't.
No, no, I mean the podium. So she will have packed up then and tried to get, I don't know about anybody else, I don't know how they do it, because when I got back after the long day that we had had yesterday, I was absolutely exhausted, but so hyper, I just couldn't get to, and I sat up kind of evacuating my day's worth to my husband until about 2 in the morning, so he was happy, not.
Well, I can tell you that we wrapped things up here. We started at 8 o'clock yesterday morning and we wrapped things up at 4 o'clock in the morning today. That's how long we were here yesterday, making sure that you guys got all the edits out and that everything was uploaded onto YouTube. So if you want to get yourself over there, you can go and have a look and watch some of the coverage. There is Melanie Sandos, who is about to come and join us on the wall, guys. Let's get ready.
You know, if she had tension tattooed across her forehead, it couldn't be clearer. She is uptight, just wants to get out there, get her hands on some handholds. She's not the most expansive of climbers. She's not like Jenny Lavarda, for example, who we know screams with joy or pain, depending on how she's got on. Melanie is very much a business, down-to-business woman, and she's definitely wanting to get on with it right now.
Well, guys, this is Boulder Problem 1, which I'm going to nickname the Easter Island Head, because it does look like an Easter Island head, I think. Well, there you can see she's very quick to start. the home crowd's going to definitely be putting some pressure on her here. So it's right foot onto the nose of the head there, and then pushing round to the right-hand side. There's the bonus hold. Very quick to start. Guys, this is a 7A plus with Melanie Sandoz, and in 40 seconds, it looks like we could be seeing a top here.
Matches that nicely. The crowd obviously behind this French climber.
So guys, Melanie Sandoz kicked things off from the beginning. Sheila, do you reckon we're going to be seeing a repeat of yesterday when we saw so many of the men come out and flash the first problem, and then it just got really, really interesting? I'd love to see something similar today.
Do you know, Daniel, since Friday I've been kicking myself because I left my crystal ball back at home in Lyon. I have no clue, and I'm not going to make any predictions because yesterday didn't go the way it was supposed to on paper, and nothing really has when I think about it. Maybe except the women's speed finals where it was a complete clean sweep for Russia. But maybe the names weren't the right ones there either. That's true because Titova came third when she was a hot favourite to win it.
She did, yes. I think the speed was definitely all about Yulia Levachkina, though. For me personally, that's what it was. Well, here we are now with Olga Yakovleva. So guys, this is a 7A rough difficulty. I was chatting to Jamie, the head route setter, earlier. He is the man that provided that phenomenal men's final for us yesterday, and let's hope that the same thing happens today as Olga moves on to the nose of our Easter Island head here, our first problem.
Guys, if you missed the men's bouldering yesterday, I strongly would advise you to go and look at the replay on the site because it was an incredibly tense affair. It all started very shakily for Sharafutinov, and it was all one-way traffic for a while, and then suddenly there was a car crash, and it all went differently in a good way, obviously. And we really, really enjoyed that final, did we not?
Well, I'm hoping we see the same thing here, and it's looking like we're going to Olga Yakovleva. Another flash here, guys, so that's 2 flashes to start us off today. Olga Yakovleva now with a flash as well as Melanie Sandoz. But guys, remember what happened yesterday with Dmitry Sharafutinov. He was the only man not to flash the first problem, and he was 3 attempts down on every other guy because he did it in 4.
He took 4 attempts on what seemed like a fairly straightforward problem, well, by these guys' standards.
But he came out and he was our world champion. There's so much I want to say about all of these climbers, but they're doing it so fast. They're using roughly a minute of their 4 minutes. It works on a 4 minutes plus basis, guys, so the athlete is allowed to carry on past the 4 minutes marker, so not 5, 4 in this case for the finals. The athlete is allowed to continue if they are off the floor at the time of the 4 minutes running out, potentially for as long as they can.
Yeah, but if you do have a question on the different climbers, you can go into the IFSC-climbing.org website, click on the name of the athletes in the general results section of this competition, and you'll get up all sorts of information about them, their age, their height sometimes, and weight sometimes, and all their world rankings and past events. Now there is a turn-up, Akio, who's one of the firm favourites here. A lot of people were saying it's about her and Anna Stöhr. Akio coming off on her first attempt. She was looking very nervous just before she when they were showing the backstage shot there.
I know that you were just saying you caught her just beforehand and shouted Gamba at her, but when she went out...
Oh, so I've obviously cursed the poor woman, but it was just, I wanted to encourage her. Obviously can't converse with them because they're technically in isolation before they come out.
Well, here is Akio now. Akio Noguchi, the 23-year-old athlete from Ibaragi, the world-ranked #2. The World Cup ranking for this year, 2012, is second as well. I believe that's mainly because of the bouldering that so far happened. Beating Shauna Coxey to the silver place, as Shauna has unfortunately broken her leg bouldering in Magic Woods. She was also second in 2011. There's a top, but in 2 attempts, guys, and remember it is all down to the most amount of tops in the least amount of attempts, so every attempt counts. So far, 2 flashes, and Akio Noguchi topping problem 1 in 2 attempts.
I was saying to you yesterday, Daniel, that all of the Japanese climbers, Sachiyama, Akio, Momoka couldn't be there because she was in isolation for her own event, but they were all out on the floor yesterday supporting their paraclimber who got their first medal with a silver. And obviously Akio will be wanting to be on one or other step of the podium, and preferably the top one. Now Cécile is going for the overall title, and in that she was doing the lead and the bouldering and the speed. She got into the semi-final on the lead. She was disappointed because she felt really strong, really fresh on the route, and then she lost her foot and couldn't get back on.
Well, she was 16th in the women's lead here at the World Championships.
Which is a good effort, really, when you think of the strength of this field, and she is 40 and she is doing the triple event, which obviously takes its toll.
And you can hear the crowd growing behind her here on her home turf. There must be so much pressure on the French athletes right now to excel in front of their home crowd at the championships.
But I would say if anyone has the mental strength to deal with that, it is Cécile. She's incredibly grounded, perhaps because of her young family. Oh, she thought she was at the top there. What'd she do? She looked around at the crowd.
I think she believes she's topped out, yeah. Please say she's going to be able to here now after thinking it there. She looked round to the crowd. It was either she thought she could see her laughing there. It's either that she thought that she topped, or she just knew that she was gonna. She turned round and just looked at the crowd and went, "Ah, yeah."
I couldn't lip read, to be honest. I wasn't sure if she was kind of saying, "Come on, give me some support," which really would have been milking the crowd because they were all on their feet, or what. But anyway, she's there. Oof.
And Cécile Abizou makes that the third flash we've seen already in the final on problem 1, but I can warn you now that it is kind of a thing with Jamie, the route setter, that he makes the first one relatively doable and then decides that the second one has to be relatively hard.
Yeah, and having walked through the boulders with him, you're expert on 1, 2 and 3, and I had a chat with him about number 4. I can tell you there's a couple of curveballs coming, guys, so stay tuned.
A lot of surprises still to come as we move through the women's bouldering finals here at the World Championships in Bercy in Paris. Welcome if you're joining us. My name is Daniel Finn and I'm joined by Sheila McCarran. We'll be your commentators throughout today. Kim Jae-in now coming out after competing in the lead yesterday.
Taking a silver medal after Angela Eiter and in front of Johanna Ernst. She looked so good, and then there was just missed the movement. She ended up three or so handholds below Angela. Bear in mind, like Cécile, Jae-in is going for the overall title, so the silver medal in the lead will have done her no harm at all in that overall title race.
Absolutely, if she can do the same thing here or better, then she's well on her way for it.
Oh, she's definitely the hot favourite to take the overall title at this stage.
Well, the other thing that we were talking about yesterday is the way that she climbs and how elegant she is when she's on the wall. You can see her now. It's going to be very, very quick. Can she secure this now? Yes, she can. There's so much tension in her arms, but she just doesn't make it look like anything's happening.
It's all in her arms and not in her face. There's never any tension on that woman's face. It's
just
unbelievable,
complete control.
like a mask. Yeah.
And focus. Well, some of her previous results, a second at the World Cup in Chamonix this year as well in the lead. Third place in Chongqing in China in the bouldering there. And if you go on to ifsc-climbing.org, just look at her repertoire, as it were, for the previous few years.
So here's Anna Ster. I know there are many of you in the chat room who are great fans of hers, and well, you know, she's got the looks, she's got the talent, she's got it all going for her, and a fantastic warm smile, always interacts with the crowd. She's a very, very popular climber.
Now remember, guys, the pressure is going to be on Anna here to match what she will already know has been happening out on here due to the amount of time that our climbers have been spending on the wall before they have topped. Moving very, very quickly through here, aren't we?
We are. I think that's not going to be the case of the other blocks, but certainly that first one not really causing very many people very many problems.
Well, I bet Jamie is very nervous right now. after the ease that they have dealt with the first problem there. He told me that yesterday in the men's that was a real big thing for him when they all came out and were flashing the first problem. Had that moment of taking a breath when Dimitri did run into problems, because the pressure that is on the route setters here is just, it's massive, isn't it?
Yeah, especially because Dimitri was the second climber out. The first guy out flashed it. That was the Japanese, Ray. He flashed it. Then it was...
it was Rustem, I believe, and then Dimitri. I think he was the third out.
Oh, you may be right. Well, anyway, so there had been these flashes on it, and then he came out and was having problems. And that just threw the cat amongst the pigeons, and the pressure was on everybody else when you're in isolation, and you can tell by how quickly someone comes back in, you know, if they flashed it or not. And depending on how it's been going, no, she definitely thought she topped that. Look, I'm looking at the replay as Sissy. She definitely thought she topped it and had to regroup. Goodness, imagine if she had just come down expecting that it was okay. That would have been a disaster. So.
Well, Melanie Sandoz now joins us once again for Boulder Problem 2. This is a 7A plus, guys. A double dyno to start. Here she goes for it.
No, Mal, I wouldn't say that the men's final was a 2-boulder event at all. It was definitely a 4-boulder event, because that disaster of Sharafutunov's on the first block.
It all came down to attempts.
Down to it could have messed with his head, and coming out onto the second block, he could have been all in a negative space, but he just came out and proved to be the champion that he was.
Look at the fingers there on the bonus hold as she pushes up onto here. So this is a double dyno to start, and then moving up right foot onto the bonus to push up onto the plate on the pyramid, which you can see just above her. There is the right foot onto the bonus hold now. Oh, there's the plate, but she's using a pinch there over the pyramid, between the plate and the other side of the pyramid to get to the top. Sandoz is setting the bar high here.
Allez, Mel.
Sandoz definitely setting the bar high here. That's another flash for her on 2. So 2 flashes so far for Sandoz. Now Olga Yakovleva is about to come out and join us, and she knows now that there will be another top happening on problem 2, due to the fact that they're all sitting back there in the isolation, and they'll know that if the athletes aren't using the full 4 minutes, as they're all going out one at a time, remember, guys. Some of you saying that maybe this is too easy. Well, we will see as we move through the competition. Let's see how our Russian athlete now, Olga Yakovleva, is going to deal with our problem 2 here. This is 7A plus.
Yeah, no, Mal, I'm going to argue with you again on this. It didn't come down to the middle 2, because on the last boulder, it was the extra attempt that Sean McCall took that got him out of the medals and ending up in 4th. It certainly was one of the most complete finals that we have seen, and as you know, I'm usually stuck in front of my own TV watching and commenting on the chat with y'all. I've seen pretty much all of them, and yesterday's final was brilliant.
Well, that automatically puts Melanie Sandoz into the lead, because she stuck the dyno.
Yep.
And unfortunately, Olga hasn't on her first attempt. We saw that happen with Noguchi a few moments ago. Well, this was one of the things that I was talking to Jamie about, the fear of seeing whether the women are going to be able to make these problems look easy, or whether he's done the right thing in terms of setting the routes here. Now, he knew that some of these athletes, as he was saying, I was talking to Jackie Godoff, one of the other route setters as well. He was saying the best way, as there aren't very many female route setters, the best way is to know the individual styles of the athletes you have in the final or in the semi-final, and they definitely have started to understand those styles now. There's Olga Yakovleva sticking the double dyno. But yes, one of the things he was talking about was knowing their styles and being able to tweak the finals to their individual styles and against them. And he has just said to me a few moments ago that some of the, I think 2 or 3 of the female athletes that are moving to the final do have a thing about dynos, and they don't like them.
Yeah, well, there's dynos and dynos. The dynos where you have to come back out on yourself on an underhang. I know that was causing Alex Puccio a lot of problems in Munich. They're kind of all merging together now that we're at the end of that climbing World Cup season. But Akio Noguchi was having problems with one of those one time as well. But when you have a dyno that's out in the front, out on the front of the surface of a boulder, like in an upward diagonal move. That suits some people. Other people haven't quite got the sufficient push off their feet to get there. It's horses for courses. Nobody climbs the same among these six girls, and even if you take Shauna, for example, she often has very individual solutions to the problems.
Absolutely. Well, here we are now back with Akio Noguchi. Now remember that she took 2 attempts to top the previous problem. She has to now start pulling something out of the bag. This needs to be a flash to throw her back into the competition
she really needs
as we
the
move
flash,
through.
Yeah. Really needs the flash to keep in contention. And I'm fairly sure she knows that now, as she's looking at the start of this boulder.
And that is going to be putting a lot of pressure on this Japanese athlete as she moves through into the rest of the finals here. No flash again for Akio Noguchi on the dyno.
Wasn't there a right to left dyno in Munich that Anna Stöhr was having problems with on the right hand side of the
Yes, I believe there was. There was also a right to left one for the men's as well. That
Killian
it was
getting
on a slab as well. A pop across.
So
It's kind of a traverse dyno.
It'll be interesting to see how she does on this. Akio just adjusting underneath before she pushes up onto the crimp, using her toe to stabilize underneath the structure.
And that's why the dyno is here. Some people saying it's definitely an eliminator move. Absolutely, it's the one that's going to add a few more attempts onto each of the athletes' scores. Look at the grip there.
It's so easy to lose an attempt or two, just trying to nail those dynos. So easy to slip off.
All in the shoulders.
These
holds are tiny, guys. You can see them there. There's the
Gamba Akio, she's frowning. There we go. Come on, match, sweetie. Come on.
Need another hand. Need another hand on that top.
Using her heel just to make sure. That's brilliant. She's pleased with that. I think relieved rather than pleased. Trying to just untangle herself there before she comes down.
I believe that was another top in 2 attempts. Well, welcome if you are joining us. I believe we are now about to be joined by Cécile Abazou, and there she is, coming out to see us again on this, our 7A plus problem. Now, let's see. Cécile has flashed the first problem.
Cécile's just walking around it, making sure it's... Oh, she's talking to herself. She's saying, tack, tack, tack. Which is like, here's how I'm doing this. I'm going to get that, do this, do that, do that, and then I'm there. Rather than rush onto the wall and take the chance of using up these precious attempts at these boulders.
A lot of pressure on her now as well to match her teammate, Melanie Sandoz, the only woman so far that has had 2 flashes. Olga Yakovleva with 1 flash, and Akio Noguchi with no flashes so far. Has taken 2 attempts on each boulder that she's tried so far. We are here with Cécile Abazou with 1 flash. And remember also Kim Jae-in and Anna Stöhr both have a flash on the first one, so they could still throw some contention into this when they come out and have an attempt on boulder problem 2. Well, there's the dyno, and
she had it and just came off.
Not quite sticking it there. To give you an idea of some of Cécile's previous results then. We're looking at a 14th place at the Women's Lead Climbing World Cup in Valence in France in 2011, a 5th place at Chongqing in 2012, 13th at Innsbruck in the bouldering there in 2012, and then a 16th place in the lead in Paris here yesterday.
Cécile's talking to herself constantly here, trying to psych herself up. There it is, she's nailed it, she's nailed the dyno. Come on, sweetie, get your arm up.
Well, this is her 3rd attempt, so she needs to do this now.
She's tiny, remember, she's trying to use her heel to get extra leverage up to the
right hand up onto the bonus now. Sorry, left hand onto the bonus. There's the bonus. She looks a little bit shaky here, Sheila.
Yeah, she's maybe the extra events taking their toll.
That was her third attempt, which means that this one now becomes her fourth, and this is really going to be affecting the rest of the competition, guys. Remember, this is all about the most amount of tops in the least amount of attempts. Every athlete has a 4+ minute timer. Currently with Cecile, we are on 1 minute 20 left. Now, if she is off the floor, once that 1 minute 20 has gone, she's allowed to continue for as long as she can. So you can have as many attempts as possible within that 4 minutes and into the extra time as long as you're off the floor. If you do come off then, though, your attempt is over. So Cecile's actually spending quite a lot of her time. She spent the first minute at least, I believe, and she's spending more time here analysing this problem, trying to get her head around what she's going to do. They are called problems. They are meant to be solved. It's one of those things that we love about this aspect of sport climbing, is that it is also a very heavily mentally orientated sport.
Absolutely. It's and she is one of the strongest, mentally the strongest athletes. But she has been doing the lead and the speed and the bouldering, and since Wednesday it's a long competition, and she is 40, and she has got the extra pressure of the home crowd. That's it. She really looks strong, much stronger on that.
Absolutely, she's got that dyno down now.
I think she's kind of sussed what she wants to do. If she can just get her body to do it, this is looking a lot better. Come on, sweetie, go up with your...
That is
so
such
far
a reach.
Yes,
8 seconds. Still 8 seconds. Get yourself on that wall again. Use all the time. Is she going to go for this? No, she takes a bow and then
it a day
leaves.
on that one.
That was her fourth attempt. No top for Cecile Avezou.
Well, you remember we were talking about when they came out for the presentation, and it looked like we had Russian dolls going from the tallest to the smallest, left to right, until Anna came out. What does that tell you? It tells you that the next girl out is smaller than Cecile. So that cross where you saw that she couldn't just reach it, it'd be very interesting to see how the smaller climbers like Jane Kim
well, the thing is, she was trying to reach with the right hand then over onto the slab. Let's see whether Kim Jae-in takes a different tactic as
go
you
with
move
the left,
through this.
then try and match and go across.
Go
again.
up on the left and then move across.
Well, that's possible, but I don't know. At the same time, Cecile is such an experienced campaigner, and she had already tried the way she tried at the last attempt. Seemed convinced that that was the right tactic. Maybe it was the right tactic for her. Again, they don't have the same styles, and I'd be surprised if we saw the same solutions for everyone. But quite frankly, Melanie Sandoz is just looking so strong at the moment compared to the others.
She didn't waste much time on this one at all.
Having
she was
flashed
out
the first two, yeah.
And then in very quickly. Well, here we are with Kim.
Yep.
Struggling with the dyno. Now, we saw this in the semis, I believe, with Kim Jae-in. She is one of the athletes that does struggle with the dynos, or she has at least definitely been doing that during this competition here.
Well, as we've been saying on several occasions, sorry if you've been watching us all the way through since Wednesday and we're repeating ourselves, but she is more of a lead climber than a boulderer. She's known for her fluid, not static style, it's a fluid style, but it's not really a dead dynamic style, and well, these jumps are obviously problematic for her.
Well, not only are my hands sweating watching her try to get that dyno and make it, but also I feel like the skin is actually peeling off my fingertips. Not only just hers, and it must be now. It actually feels like skin is coming off my fingertips as she's trying to make that double dyno at the start. That was her third attempt, and this is going to make all the difference as we move through the final. This one, come on, surely.
No, it's. Remember, we were saying just 2 minutes ago, it's so easy to run up attempts on these dynos because you think you have it, you just slip off at the last minute, you're trying to re-establish your feet and move on. It really is a nightmare, and it is strength sapping for them.
She's going to try and static it, I think.
Well, if in doubt.
An interesting choice.
Nah, I can't.
It feels like this. It's too much.
Oh well, it was worth a go.
Nothing so far for Kim Jae-in. Has not managed to make the first move from the start holds onto the dyno. So no bonus yet and no top. We have just seen
Whereas-
Cecile Avazu as well have no top.
But Cecile got a couple of bonuses on in the attempts.
Cecile got a couple of bonuses during the attempts as well yesterday, so that is going to make a difference. Remember that Kim Jae-in is also going to be exhausted from yesterday's lead final, where she took the silver.
I'm just laughing at Jane Kim. She laughs and smiles as she comes off. You know, you go down to your gym to do a bit of bouldering and you see these people on the weekend and they're kicking their chalk bags and they're cursing and swearing. I think I'll start the Jane Kim of serene bouldering.
Well, if she wants to take an edge on Cecile Avazu, she needs to make at least this bonus now. If she's able to make the bonus, then she could match Cecile Avazu. At the moment,
Yes, Lars, these are all considered attempts. As soon as she has her feet off the floor, it's an attempt. And there goes another one.
30 seconds left. She's taking a rest on the floor to try and see what's going to happen here. But yes, a lot of you saying that she's very self-contained. It's a surprise to see her smiling so much when she's out there, but what a phenomenal athlete.
See that? She just turns round to the crowd, big grin, give me some support, turns round and she's on the wall, completely focused. We were talking about this yesterday.
Look, and you know now, you can see in her eyes that she wants to go for this again. 1 second, it's gone.
This is a killer attempt. If she doesn't stick it, it's done. So no.
There was a millisecond there where I thought she might actually have stuck that.
So she didn't get the top and she didn't get any bonuses. So that
Which is going to be playing a big part in where she stands in the rankings,
Interesting.
considering that Cecile did make the dyno. It has been a height thing though.
so far on that one, yeah.
The taller athletes came
Yeah.
out first. They've all managed to do it, and as we've said, talking about that Russian doll situation with them getting smaller as they came out, Kim Jae-in, the smallest athlete to come out, actually struggling the most with that dyno.
Yep.
It is a big leap though, that double dyno. There's quite a lot in it there.
You know, sometimes I do make an intelligent comment. I know it stuns you.
Well, the interesting thing is going to be to see how Anna Storr now gets on when she comes out and attempts it, because now we're into an athlete that is a little bit taller than both Cecile and Kim Jae-in.
And totally the bouldering.
And the bouldering queen, as we call her,
yes.
the king and queen of
Doesn't
bouldering.
do any. I don't think I've ever seen her with a rope.
No, I
don't
can't say
think
that
I
I have
have.
either.
She probably does in training, but for competition, I'm scratching my head and trying to. No, I've never seen her do a lead competition. Wow!
Well, there it
Nails
is.
it down on the first attempt.
This is her living up to her name as the bouldering queen. So many titles under her belt.
Make sure the bonus.
So left hand up first. Now that is what I'm talking about. Not going over the top, but actually doing a change. And this is what I was talking about with you guys in the chat room.
Oh.
Different though, interesting to see her coming down. Maybe I was wrong, that isn't the technique. But instead of doing the stretch, she's gone underneath and bypassed it by doing a switch with the hands there.
At the same time, it does look a lot less awkward the way she's doing it, and maybe she just
Maybe she
stumbled
just slipped.
there.
I don't know, but that's what I was talking about a few moments
I think
ago.
she'll try it
Seeing the
again that
athletes
way.
try and doing that one. I think she's probably, as you're saying, go for the same thing again. 24, Anna Storr. Strange, she's younger than me, and I can't. For some reason, I just the amount of respect and title that she has. I just always see Anna, whenever I'm talking to her, as being older than myself. She's only 24 years old. World rank #1. World Cup ranking so far this year in the bouldering. I say so far this year, it is finished, and she took gold there. She was unchallenged in the last World Cup of the season. That just goes to show how good this athlete really is. She was first at the end of 2011. She was second at the end of 2010.
Last year
and she
really
does
was-
this, and I love that she
Yeah,
does this. She
yeah,
always
absolutely.
gets the crowd going behind her. She always does it. Of
one
her
of the
top
things
12
that-
results, guys, we're looking at just a stream of first, second and thirds, podium positions all the way down there. The last one, actually, she came second in Munich just recently, but still took the gold medal
she's
overall.
taking the same method as last time.
Same method again here. This is what I was talking about.
I was just going to say to you, Daniel, last year, if you think about it, was really Austria's climbing year, because there was her and Kilian, they were the perfect pair in the bouldering, and there was Jakob Schubert. They were untouchable.
Well, here's the pinch. And there's the
And
top.
there she goes in
One
two
more
attempts.
hand and there's the top. There it is. Anna Storr managing to top there on her second attempt. Anna Storr. Oh, here we are. There are the results as they stand at the moment, and that puts Anna Stor up into second place so far.
And believe me, it is not lost on the local crowd that Melanie Sandoz, the local girl, is on top of this table.
They know it. They know that she's about to join us again now, as Anna Stor has just finished on our third problem today. This is an undercut on the first triangle at the bottom there. It's a 7A plus, so the same as the previous one, but a lot to do with slabs as we move up this wall.
Here's an interesting fact. Melanie Sandoz and Cécile Avzou actually climb for the same club in the Parisian area. It's the Massy Club. It's the biggest club in terms of membership in France. They're just to the south of Paris, and I would not be surprised if half of the 9,000 people out front now are members of the club, or related to members of the club, or want to be joining the club when they've seen what these girls do on these walls.
She's just looking so strong, though. There's a lot of pressure on her. You can see there underneath that feature, there are a couple of holds there to add a little bit of extra help. But this is where it's going to get really tricky. It's the slap up onto these two slates at the top. But it's going to be very, very careful. She's got to be careful as she goes through this one. And then once she's hitting this bonus, you see, this is where it's going to get tricky, because not only once she's slapped onto that bonus hold does she have to do that really carefully, after that there's a mantle to come as well on those very, very small, very slippy holds, I would imagine. There she is cleaning the wall herself.
Well, you know, you come out for a World Championship bouldering competition, you're not really expecting a walk in the park, but this is really demanding. Look, this is all about flexibility, suppleness. Look at the change of axis in her hips there as she had to go across. It's a completely uncomfortable position. She has to be stable and then come up to a thing that you really, it looks like just a piece of yellow sandpaper rather than a handhold.
Absolutely.
And then carry on from there. It's very demanding. I love this.
I have to say that I think that this one is not only going to be about the flexibility, but it's also going to be about caution. That move over onto the bonus hold, that slap there onto those sandpaper holes, that's just going to be about caution, I think. The slower you take that, the better. Which
was exactly what we had on the third boulder for the men yesterday. There was a commitment move over to the right onto that red round.
There you can see she's doing it there. She's got a caution there. Here comes the mantle. And once she's got this mantle now, it's all just about standing on this slab.
I've seen her do a move like this. I've seen her do this. She can do this. Come on. The local crowd absolutely on their feet.
Gotta lean into the slab, and here it is on her second attempt. I think we're about to see a world champion emerge here.
Oh my God, she qualified last into the final. Everybody was getting a bit nervous about it, but she is looking fabulous, fabulous.
I think we're about to see the second gold medal for France in the World Championships here. I think Melanie Sandoz is the one to watch. But remember, if Anna Stor can come out and top this in a flash, she will then become tied with Melanie Sandoz. If she can flash the next problem, she will become tied. In fact, she might even take the advantage due to the bonuses. So still something to play for here by the Austrian climber Anna Stor, and as we all know, never ever rule out Anna Stor from a competition.
And this is only the third boulder. I mean, there's still a lot to happen, and having walked through the fourth one with the route setter, this whole shorter climbers, taller climbers thing could really come into play, but I don't want to spoil the tension on that, and let's concentrate on boulder number 3 with the Russian climber.
It's Olga Yakovleva coming out now to join us.
Je profite 2 secondes pour dire bonjour aux Français qui sont dans le chat und guten Tag für die deutschen Österreicher qui That's it, I've just realized I cannot speak 3 languages in one sentence. It's not possible. Donc bonjour aux Français. Hello to all of you all over the world who are joining us for this amazing World Championship. We've got 58 countries represented here from the 5 continents for this World Championships here. Paris is the climbing capital of the world until tonight.
Well, here we are, Olga Yakovleva. Looked a little bit shaky there as she started with that undercut, but now here she is moving on to the second section of the wall. Now this is, as I've said, I think going to all be about taking it slow, being very cautious, not only the flexibility and strength in the arms, and there you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And look at those slates, there's just nothing there at all.
She definitely had a go at that and thought, oh, I don't like this very much at all. There's a few of you asking us, as you often do, what the difficulty levels are of these problems. The first one, as we saw, didn't cause a lot of difficulty to very many. It was a 7A. The second was a 7A plus. That was just to get you warmed up, and then a 7A plus for the second boulder. This one is also considered to be a 7A plus, and then the last one as well. But they are very different styles, and they create different difficulties for the girls. Very different climbing styles. We know the Russians love their crimps. We know that some of the girls are more for the dyno moves than others, and so there's really every different type of move in 4 boulders. It's a microcosm of bouldering. It's fantastic. I really take my hat off to Jamie, who was the main route setter.
Well, Olga here now back down on the ground again, and a couple of you saying in the chat room there, she's just sitting there thinking, where are the footholds right now? And that, I think, is exactly what she's just thinking. I don't even know whether there's enough traction on that undercut that we're starting on for her to even smear as she moves across there. I think it has to be done with a lean first, and then putting all the weight into your arms to take you across to the bonus. So let's see how she gets on as we move through this one now. There are the rankings as they stand at the moment. 1 minute 20 left on the clocks. Welcome if you are joining us here at the World Championships in Paris. My name is Daniel Finn. I'm joined by Sheila McCarran.
Olga's not looking desperately happy with any of the aspect of this particular boulder.
Remember, these athletes are going to get progressively shorter until we reach Anna Storr, where it steps up again a little bit there. But Olga Yakovleva, slightly shorter than Melanie Sandoz.
I'm not even sure it's a question of reach. You know, she has the reach there, but okay, she's got up to.
There is an interesting different way of doing it. That's the one. And now she's got to try this mantle. So there's the bonus hold.
Bear in mind as well that on these particularly rough and flat things, you're really kind of pulling on them, and as you were talking about your skin coming off, the more attempts you have on this, the rougher it is, and your skin gets raw. Obviously, these girls have hands like, I don't know, something very hard that doesn't callus anymore. I can't think of a term. But, you know, they're used to obviously punishing training sessions, but still.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of wear and tear coming on the hands.
She's spending a long time on this. I think she's going to run out of punch, even if she gets, a heel.
Now she should know now that she's out of time. It's a 4 minutes plus basis, so she has to take her time here. If she was going to try and top this, to come off now would be disastrous for her.
She really just cannot come off it. She's sitting in 3rd position at the moment.
There's an interesting different technique there in mantling.
Well,
slow and steady, but there she is. She takes it.
That is one relieved Russian, because she was past her time. If she'd come off at any stage, she'd lost out on that top, but she got it.
Well, the person that is now going to come out and stands every chance of pushing her out of that 3rd place position, though, is Akio Noguchi. And also we have Anna Storr still yet to come. Anna Storr still with a chance at the current stage in the position of pushing Melanie Sandoz back as well. So a lot of excitement still to come, guys. How is everybody doing in the chat room? I hope you're all well and you're excited about this, the World Championships here. If you're joining us in YouTube on the live stream, come across to ifsc.tv and come and have a chat with us in the chat room as well. Thank you very much for being with us. We now are joined by Akio Noguchi.
I think you could see just behind Akio a flavour of just how full this arena is becoming. A lot of people were here and stayed until the end for the ladies' lead climbing and the speed climbing. A lot of people were online watching the paraclimbing, and everybody here was completely moved by it. There was the men's bouldering earlier on in the day, but I think tonight for the men's lead final, we'll see the place absolutely packed to the gunnels. I know that there's not a seat to be bought.
Well, Akio Noguchi, the athlete that has taken 3 golds already in the season this year, 1 at Munich, 1 at Vienna, and 1 at Chongqing in 2012. She finishes up this year in 2nd place, just pipping Shauna Coxey to it. And that was due to Munich and the gold medal there. She knew that she had to podium to be able to push Shauna Coxey off the 2nd place.
This is looking like it could be a flash. She's straight onto those. using the edge of the structure to reposition, shaking out the tension in her arms. She needs to get a foot up somehow here. She's not doing it the same way as Melanie did. This is good though. Please don't fall, that could be very awkward.
She's leaning out, you've got to lean forward now, Akio. Do not look back.
She's really needing to push her core in towards the structure.
She's got to brace into this slab now. She needs to use it.
Oh la la, oh la 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 la, no.
Now she needed, I think, to push up with the one leg there and brace into the wall instead of trying to bring two legs straight away up.
Yeah,
We've
I think
every other athlete has done that.
The second leg certainly seemed to be an impossible dream because she would have had to completely fold out like a butterfly with, you know,
She's
a knee
more than
either
capable
side
of doing flexibility-wise,
well,
but when you're on a slab,
sometimes I don't want to watch how flexible these girls can be, but really my concern was that she would fall off and injure herself quite badly, either muscularly or on the edge of the structure. Look at that.
So, Gamba is what I'd like to say, and if you'd like to say it as well, do shout it in the chat room. They can hear you, I'm sure, through the magic of
Arcane, you're
streaming.
absolutely right. They all have mantled differently, and it's one of the fascinating things about blocks. It's about how you're used to climbing, how supple you are, how tall you are, how you name it. They're all it's like a line out of the life of Brian. You are all individuals. These girls do all have a very different climbing style, and they're doing. They call these problems, and everybody has an individual solution to them.
Well, here is Akio now. No flash for her. Second attempt. She's about to start trying here.
Hello, Mr. Wheezy. I hope you're enjoying this as much as we are.
So, second attempt, 35 seconds left on the clock now. Let's see how Akio gets on here. She can afford to come off once more and then go back on, but remember, every attempt takes effort, takes some of that energy away from you and puts more pressure in your hands and your arms, gets you more pumped as we move through for the rest of the competition. It's going to be close, I think, as we start to move on to the fourth problem as well. I think it's going to be decided there.
Remember how many attempts that Jane Kim had at that dyno, and that really does take it out of you. So we'll see what she can do with this mantle, being the shorter climber as well.
And not only on the mantle, but the fact that she also had to compete in the lead climbing yesterday, and she's now had to try the dyno so many times. She must be. Remember, there's the semi-finals and the qualifications that these athletes have been through as well in this competition. They have been doing a lot of climbing over these few days, and I know personally that after a climb, when you are going down to a gym, you need a day or two sometimes to just recover. These athletes don't let up at all. They are just pushed onto the next climb, the next competition, and it gets harder every day. So these guys are going to be feeling some aches now. Now she's going with the one leg. She's got to get...
No, I think she's
thinking
she's going to bring it up again.
She's not there.
She's not far enough over to the right. She needs to...
And the timer has gone as well, and she's going to know that and be disappointed.
Oh, this is a turn-up.
That is changing everything down here. She needed to push in more with her core then on that mantle, and she just couldn't do it.
I would have said she needed to push in, as you say, but also fold down onto that right knee. She needed to drop the right knee to bring her center over so that she could reach over for the top, and she just didn't seem to be happy enough with her feet. Well, I don't think it even was a foot problem because it looked pretty secure. Anyway, she didn't get it, and again, form a sentence involving cats and pigeons. I think we're there.
Well, I believe that that's going to take...
Who's brought her own carpet to clean her shoes on.
Very nice. This is that I believe will take Noguchi off the medals table unless she can flash the fourth problem. If she flashes the fourth problem when she comes back out to us in a few moments' time, she might have a chance of taking bronze, I think. We are now back with Cecile Lavezou, who has flashed the first problem, no top on the second. She needs to do something here if she wants to start putting herself back into the game. Well, the crowd are picking up behind her, guys. Remember that France is now guaranteed a medal here.
As things stand, yes, it's just about the colour. Come on, Cécile. And we could get a medal with it. Yeah, look at that. She's going, yes, did it.
So there's the bonus. Now she's got a mantle. Now she's a very experienced climber. She should know how to do this now. Let's see what method she uses here. Oh, and she's slipping. That just goes to show you, we were talking about them being sandpaper holes. You're just coming straight up. There's hardly anything there on those slabs, sorry, the slates that are on the wall for you to grab onto. Slapping onto them is just, there's hardly anything. A question in the chat room now saying from Gandhi, just to explain what a mantle is. Well, a mantle, the mantle of this wall is actually the place on the wall that's now getting cleaned. And a mantle is, yes. Sheila, would you like to explain it in a more succinct way than I would?
It's a ledge.
It's a ledge, yeah, there we are. It's a ledge, a mantle. It's one that you have to use the upper part of your body to bear up over the top of that ledge, using your core to contract yourself and then push up higher to then bring your legs up and push up again. So it's a huge core movement, upper body movement. And when Cécile gets there in a few moments' time, I will say this is a mantle if she manages to do it, Gandhi, and I'll explain that better for you then as well.
You see that Melanie Sandoz actually has very long arms. And when she pushes up on her hands, her hips are almost at the height of the mantle already.
Which allows her to bear her core into the wall and give her that extra lean. Like you could see.
Granted, you still then have to be able to bend her quite long legs to get up, but she actually has a longer upper body than her legs, and maybe that is the secret to mantles, because it is one of her favourite moves.
But there in the chat room, Scott saying a mantle demands everything that the triceps can generate from you.
Absolutely. As you can see, watching Cécile and watching the tension in her arms.
That was a mantle. That is a mantle right there, and she's doing it expertly. Is she going to be able to do this now? She's in a better position, one hand on. You can see her bearing into that slab, and a scream from not only her, but also Sheila next to me as well. As Cécile Avazou manages to top out on problem 3 on her third, I believe, attempt. Sorry, second attempt.
Second, I'm too busy grinning to be able to speak, actually. I've lost 3 vowel sounds, I think.
And there she is at the side there. There are the results as they stand at the moment. That puts Cécile Avazou into 3rd place, guys, which means that at the moment, as it stands, France is taking 2 podium positions.
Yes, but it is a bit misleading in the sense that she has done the block that we just saw, the problem, whereas Jane Kim, who's about to climb, has not done it. So she could end up with 2 blocks instead of the one that we can see on the scoreboard. And Anna Steur hasn't done it either, hasn't attempted it either. So if she pulls it off, she's on 3 and 3.
Oh, there's an interesting point just coming in, I have to say, from Scott there in the chat room as well, saying, Dan, that was pure power. That was pure pushing up, no feet, all triceps on the way there.
Somebody said she muscled up on nothing. I think that's absolutely it. I think maybe the crowd just all blew forward in one move, and the air just like provided a cushion for sort of a hovercraft type.
Yeah, the French crowd definitely getting behind their athletes here. Now there is a reach here, but let's look at that. This is where height does come into play a little bit here. But let's see whether Kim Jae-in tries a different method of getting onto the bonus hold and onto those slates there on that 3rd triangular feature over to the left-hand side. Let's see what Kim Jae-in makes of this.
Again,
she is a little bit of extra height by bearing in with her shoulder on that undercut.
But the tiniest of these climbers.
She's going to try and smear, I think, on here. There's a toe hook there. Now she had it, she's going back.
Having a rethink.
Still her first attempt. She needs to get a flash here if anything is going to come of this competition for her. There's one hand on it. She knows that those holds are practically non-existent.
Trying to use her foot for some adherence on what appears to be a joint between 2 sections of the wall, because there is no foothold there. Just trying to get the extra leverage to get across onto that second piece of sandpaper.
Well, just to give a shout out to Campbell that's joining us as well. I believe that's Campbell, one of the Aussie climbers that was out in the World Youth Championships recently, and also I think Roxy's been in the chat over the past few days. Hi to some of our regulars, Gyo and Mr. Weasley joining us in the chat room as well. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope you're all psyched as we move into this next stage of our final at the World Championships here. Question in the chat room saying, what would Kim Jae-in need to do to be able to podium here? Well, she'd need 2 tops, definitely, on this place now, because there are 3 tops from both Melanie Sandoz and also Olga Iyakoleva at present.
And she would need Anna Storr to decide that she just doesn't want this after all and go home.
Yeah, pretty much. Anna Storr to just kind of go and
do some shopping, because
go and do
she's
some
in
shopping
Paris.
or something
Yeah.
instead. Yes.
On a Sunday, as you do. She's down. This is not going the way that Jae-in Kim planned. And the fact that she is going for the overall title, as well as Cécile Avzou and a few other girls, I do not have a scientific calculator to work out exactly what this situation will do to the medal standings in that competition
As
for
to
the
where
overall
she
title.
is on the overall title, absolutely. She took second yesterday, the silver medal. Losing out to Angela Ita. Is Angela Ita also in the
I don't believe
run
so.
for the overall
I don't
title?
believe so, but don't quote me on that.
Kim Jae-in now with 4 seconds. If she's going to have a go, she's got to go, and she is now. There she is. She's on the wall. It's all coming down to this one now.
Yep, time's up. She can't afford to come off here.
She knows it. You can see the concentration back on her face now.
Again, trying to get some extra grip using a toe hook on the structure to the left. There isn't actually a hold there. She's just on the structure.
Now, how is she going to manage this?
She's not, is the answer to that. Well, well. But she's still smiling.
And she knows now that that is going to rule her out of this this podium and this championship for bouldering here, with no top on number 2 or number 3. And it did, I think, come down to a height thing there. It's just not her day. Well, this is one of the things that we hear quite regularly as well, that anyone could take any competition at any time. If it is their time to shine, that is when they succeed. Well, one lady that is used to taking nearly every competition, nearly every time, at nearly every place is Anna Storr, as she now comes out and joins us here. A flash on problem 1. She topped the second one in 2 attempts. Let's see what she's going to do here on problem 3. This, our 7A plus problem here, starting with the undercut on the triangle. And moving on to this mantle that we're all talking about as well. So hopefully you're all excited about.
And she's
as
down.
we move through. No flash already. It's an interesting start here for Anna.
Interesting is a bit of a euphemism. This is, as we keep saying, there are only 4 problems in this final. Every extra attempt is lessening your chances of being up in the medal positions on this World Climbing Championship final. Anna really was the hot favourite before this. Now the best she can do, if she tops this now and gets the bonus, then because you get the bonus by default if you top, then she will have done 3 in 4 attempts and will be joint top with Melanie Sandoz, I believe, but she doesn't.
But now she doesn't, which means that she's in a position now to take silver at the moment, depending on how Melanie Sandoz does on the 4th boulder, the one that is still yet to come. So that's how it's standing at the moment. She's in a position to push Olga Iyakoleva down into 3rd place, which would knock Cécile Avzou out of 3rd place. At present, you can see her giving a smile there. Thinking through how she's going to do this.
Almost a look of girlish enthusiasm when she was rubbing the chalk off her hands. It was like almost a goody-goody look on her face, but I think she's masking very well the pressure she must be feeling. She so wants this, as they all do. That's it. She's done a hop of her hand from number 1 to number 2 on the bits of sandpaper, and
that's the third attempt now, and she's
that seemed a little rushed.
She was currently, before she started this, had 3 attempts, which means that she has to do it on this attempt if she wants to go in to the 4th boulder in 2nd place. Olga Yakovleva 3 tops in 7 attempts. Anna Stor has currently used 6, which means that if she wants to go through into the 4th problem in 2nd place, she has to do it on this attempt.
And by no means looking sure that she will get to the top of this. She got onto the further piece of sandpaper, as I'm calling them with affection, but in a kind of rushed way, and she didn't control the reception onto the 2nd one at all, and that's why she came off, obviously. But we've yet to see how she's going to chings, as they say in the west of Scotland.
Well, that puts her in 3rd, but only if she can top this one.
Exactly.
And as you're saying, it's looking like she's not going to at the moment. It's so strange to see Anna Stor struggling this much with something.
Absolutely, and she's having a go at the DIY brushing, and I was about to say before she came off, we've yet to see how she will attempt the whole mantle issue, because right now she's just not there.
Well, welcome if you are joining us. I hope you're all enjoying this coverage of the World Championships here in Bercy. If you are joining us on YouTube as well, do come over onto ifsc.tv and join us in the chat. She sticks it this time.
No,
but
she had
slides
it
down.
the last time too. She went left hand onto the nearest one to her, hopped over onto the further one with the same left hand, and sort of had the right hand on the right hand piece of sandpaper, but came off. So she.
This is it, guys. The time has gone.
She's out of
She
time
has
now.
to do this, and she's looking shaky. She slipped off with her
Good
feet.
grief! Could we be in a final where Anna Stor is not even in the medals? I should have had a fling at the bookies, just as a devil may care type thing.
Is shaping up to be quite a bizarre final, I will admit that now. It means at the moment that Cecile Arizou could still take bronze here, and depending on what happens on the 4th bonus, as we boulder problem, as we move through to that one in just a few moments' time. Let's see what happens as we move on to problem 4.
Now, boulder 4. I'll give you a little hint. If you can hear me over the noise of this very, very expressive crowd with a French climber out on the mat. The route setter said to me that this final boulder might be more of an advantage to the smaller climbers. On paper it's a 7A plus. Right now it's looking like a 9A in terms of the mental pressure that's on all of these climbers as they come into this fight. It's all down to this one. You see these 2 scoop efforts in the middle? In theory, she's going to want to go up to the right-hand scoop with her left hand. Then it's a jump for the bonus. Then there's an undercut, which I don't think you've had the angle to see that yet. That's in at the top of the 2 scoops. I'll wait till you can see the boulder on the screen in its entirety to tell you the second half of that.
Well, those are the standings at the moment. There you can see how everyone is working out as we move through this final. Many Sandoz at the top there. She has to get a top here if she wants to secure a position.
So she touched the bonus. I'm not sure if they're going to give it to her because she wasn't stable on it. But that's the second move. So up onto the scoop with the left hand, jump for the bonus with the right hand. Then there's an undercut in between the 2 scoops, which she needs to get with her left hand. Then she needs to bring her feet up into the scoops, go up vertically to a button of a handhold, which is handily disguised by another handhold, and then over to the left to the top.
I've got these people in the chat room just going, guys, this is insane. What is this bouldering problem? I have to agree with you on that one. There's a decoy hold on this problem.
Yes.
That's the first time I've ever seen a decoy hold Jamie, the head route setter, just throwing a curveball at the athletes right at the end of the final. Why not put it on problem 4, eh?
I absolutely did say it was a curveball, and when he talked me through it, I said to him, "You're a devious word I can't use on the chat."
Well, Graham Alderson's just next to me saying that actually over in Britain they made actually a red fish-shaped hold for that exact purpose, i.e. it was a red herring, guys, which is quite interesting. But
so
apparently
cheesy.
they've been made. It is cheesy, but
Kind of an April Fool batch, was it?
and that, guys, leads me on to the point here that bouldering is not just about the the strength of the athletes, the endurance of the athletes, and the training. It's not always just a physical thing. In fact, it is a 50-50 split between the mental side of it as well, and how much these athletes are able to problem solve.
And again, nobody tends to approach these problems in the same way. Sometimes you see them, their arms come up, and when they come off and they're standing on the mats looking at it, trying to figure out, with a very much like, what on earth are they expecting me to do with this? I just can't see it.
So starting off on the croissant-shaped features,
I think
and
Melanie
then up
has
onto this
definitely
sloper on the right-hand side.
Melanie has definitely understood what's expected of her on that move, but just can't stick it for the moment. So it's only 7 seconds. She needs to get back on the wall.
Sheila, do you think there's anything in crossing your left leg over onto the right-hand side croissant to give you a little bit extra to push up round onto that hold? Do you think the reach is there at all to be able to do that?
I'm wondering if she actually made it on the wall in time there. She's dramatically close to this 0. Well,
why not switch the feet across then and put the left leg on the right-hand croissant and then heel hook around the outer edge of the croissant?
I'm concerned that I see what you're saying, but I think if you were to do that, it would just pull you off of the scoop, because it's really a very shallow. There's no real lip to it as such, at least from when I was looking at it earlier on.
Well,
admittedly, we were below it. You know, we were down on the ground, not up on the blue mat.
Absolutely,
so
yeah. Well, let's see what happens as we move through this one.
Interesting to see if the judges considered she actually had that last attempt, because she did touch the bonus again. Let's wait and see on that one.
As to whether we're going to get the bonus from Melody there on that one, I don't know
again,
whether we
she wasn't staple on it, so that's really down to the judges' interpretation.
Well, guys, if Anna Storr manages to flash this final problem, Anna Storr could take the gold still, and she'll do it on bonuses.
Oh, and that would just it would be such a dramatic close to this championship, really. We'll have seen, I think we could then say we've seen everything. But
Absolutely.
no, because there's the men's league to come.
Yes, guys, don't go anywhere. We have the men's league competition to come later on as well for the world champion in that one. And more importantly, paraclimbing to come next. We have a paraclimbing final. Do stay around for that one as well as we watch our athletes over on the lead wall. If you want to be inspired, make sure you're here for that one. But for now, let's stay with Olga Yakovleva as she tries to secure a medal here for herself.
Now she was
Now
trying
you
to
can
look for
see
that
she's doing
outside
what I said I thought that they'd do.
Oh, do you know, Dan, you should just have done this yourself instead of sending Melanie out for us.
I wouldn't have even got off the floor.
I think that makes about 9,000 of us here.
That all want to have a go.
That wish they were fit and able enough to have a go.
Well, I can tell you that the grade that we had yesterday, Campbell, in the paraclimbing was a 7B+.
Gilagio, we don't want to get rid of you, sweetheart. Stay with us. You're keeping us company.
I'm loving Scott's comments in the chat. That's making me really, really
That would be on a
It's
really
cracking
good
me
day
up.
when he's asleep and dreaming, I think. No offense.
No, none taken. I know my limits. We are here now with Olga Yakovleva, the Russian athlete, trying to secure bronze, I think, here.
Yep.
Or potentially, if the rest of the athletes have a bad run, silver.
Yep, it's seriously, it's very, very open now. And Oren, to answer your question before Dan does, he is a climber. He climbed as a child, and he's getting back into it because he's been so inspired by the competitions he's been commenting this year. But he spends so much time doing the commenting, it's very difficult to get to a gym.
Absolutely. So what we tend to do is if we get a moment after the competition is finished and we're not exhausted, which we almost always are, we go and have a little bit of a climb on the wall.
When will we see that video of you on the speed climbing wall in Singapore? Come on, you've been teasing us
I'm really
with this
hoping
for
it doesn't
days
surface. It's so bad. But we are here now with Olga Yakovleva with her next attempt, guys. 1 minute left on the clock. She took some time out there, sat down, but she's now getting back onto the wall. So let's see how she gets on here. We are here with a 7A plus. Is she going to take a different tactic here as she gets on? She's got the reach there to secure that. No, she's back onto Melanie Sandos's tactic.
Yep, I think that the handhold that the hold that you're talking about, that she could maybe get a foot up onto or a heel onto, is so slopes down so much that you don't actually have any purchase on it to get the leverage to push up. Oh, gee, I really thought she had that there. 19, 18 times running down. Some of you are saying this just looks too hard, nobody's going to get it, but guys, this is not over.
Well, 10 seconds have just gone, so this means that this will be her last attempt. She's got to get on that wall now and do it quick. She's not on there yet. There she is. Well, the time has gone. The 4 minutes have gone. This is it now for Olga Yakovleva. Wouldn't it be amazing, Sheila, to see her pull something out of the bag here? Oh, and it looked like she was going to just...
The French commentator out in the hall, he was going, we thought she was there, but no. So she is not going to leapfrog Melanie Sandoz into the gold medal position.
Which
Obviously
means that now it's a fight
to
depend on what the next athletes are going to do to see whether she's going to be able to stay in silver or whether she would drop down to bronze. Actually, there might also be a chance of her not even taking bronze. If Akiya Noguchi can pull something out of the bag as well. Guys, this is all still so to play for.
Can I say I told you so yet? Or do I have to wait?
Say that again, sorry.
I said, can I say I told you so now, or do I need to wait?
No, you just wait. You need to wait.
I am a patient woman.
But Akiya Noguchi now back out onto the wall. So Akiya currently, with topping the first problem in 2 attempts, top the second problem in 2 attempts, no top on problem 3. Let's see how she gets on here.
Sorry, Jenny, in the chat room, you're saying that it's gone dark on your coverage. We found that a couple of refreshes tend to do the job.
That could be an issue with your internet, guys, because I don't think that's from our end. So just refresh if you are having a bit of a problem, and it should come back for you. Question 2, Scottish lady.
That would be me.
That's Sheila McCarron, who is joining me here, who joined us in Briançon as well for the past 2 years. Yes, Sheila is a climber. Indeed, her entire family are climbers. We are here now with Akiya Noguchi, though, on problem 4, trying to pull something out of the bag. Now, I think that was her second attempt, was it not, Sheila?
Yep, I think that's true. It's guys, if you can see how we're sitting, I just take the time to, while she's having a think, to say this to you. We've got a screen where we can see what you're seeing. We've got another screen where we've got the chat going, which is how we can see what's going on. We're trying to flip between the two, and I woke up this morning. I think I need to go to the opticians and get a new set of glasses. It's my eyes are really, really tired. But
Sheila, would you like to answer a question for us?
I've really enjoyed this.
Would you like to answer a question for us in the chat room, saying what kind of tape is it around her wrists and what is it for?
Well, the different teams seem to have different types of tapes, and it depends what they're looking for. There's tapes that are usually the tape is to provide extra support for tendons or muscles which may be struggling. Obviously, they have a punishing schedule in competition and training. We saw some heavy shoulder strapping on some of the lead climbers yesterday. I think it was Evgenia Manamid.
Yes, we saw quite a few athletes over in the league competition that were struggling with different types of shoulder injuries.
Bouldering with the kind of crimping movements that they're doing and some of these strength movements. Obviously, if you have any doubts about your wrists, just giving them the tape gives a little bit extra support.
Well, just have to briefly say goodbye to Sarah in the chat as we move back on to Akio Noguchi now. So not Olga Yakovleva, Akio Noguchi out in front of us.
Paula, I'll just answer you, although really my climbing is of interest to about nobody apart from myself, but I don't actually climb that well myself. I'm 50 years old. I took up climbing 4 years ago to conquer my fear of heights, and I very proudly achieved a 6B last week on lead, which was more about the fear factor than it was about the technical ability, to be honest. However, I coach our youth team at my club and they're all doing 7s and 8s, so I coach better. You know what they say, those who can do and those who can't teach. And that's definitely where I am.
Steady on,
at
both
this
my
stage of my
parents are
life.
teachers. We are now with Akio Noguchi on this section now, trying to get that bonus hold. That pop from that scoop onto that tiny hold just looks impossible to see anyone latch onto it. We've gone all the way through our athletes so far. Still got Kim Jae-in and Anna Storr to come out, but none of them so far managing this bouldering problem.
Again, like the men's bouldering, we kind of get the feel that first boulder was the warm-up event, lull them into something of a false sense of security, and then just slate them with the rest of it. This final boulder is the one that's the crunch. Oh,
he's definitely a devious
the time
man.
is up for Akio.
And that unfortunately marks the end for Akio Noguchi. What a surprise turnaround for
She's not going to be in the
Noguchi.
medals.
She's not going to be happy with that at all. And remember that there are a few other surprise turnarounds of events. For example, Kim Jae-in, who is about to come and join us now. No tops on the last 2 problems, and yet flashed the first one.
Yeah, well, you've got to think that if you've not managed to top 2 in a row, it's actually Cecile before Jae-in. But if you haven't topped the last 2, you're going to be in a doubting kind of frame of mind. And this 4th one being the difficulty that it is, and knowing that she's not the most dynamic of climbers, Jae-in Kim that is, that jump for the bonus, I think she's not going to, well, I don't want to wish her ill, but I don't think she's going to get it.
I'm loving seeing Cecile Avizu talk to herself and talk through the problems there. We very rarely get to see athletes doing it, and it's just fascinating.
Such an animated fashion as well. She's
Absolutely.
really having severe works.
She's kind of arguing with herself and telling herself to come on, get yourself on this wall, you can do this. I'd love to see her pull something out of the bag here. Is she going to be the athlete to do it?
Oh, she's trying to do a dynamic up and off.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that that's
I don't know whether you're going to get enough on
happen.
that scoop to allow you to push up onto that next one with the right arm.
I think she may well just have discovered that.
There's a lot of people saying I think Kim Jae-in is going to do it. Wouldn't it be great to see her come back as well at this stage in the competition and just go out with a bang? Quite
frankly, it would be great to see someone pull this off, and so that we could see the demonstration of how it was supposed to be done. Maybe we should get the route setter to go afterwards, but obviously that's not going to happen. There is an element of frustration when you don't see a route topped in the lead or a boulder solved in the bouldering competition, but they really have asked a lot of these girls. They've taken all the possible bouldering moves, and
well, that was interesting. That was more of a static approach.
And she was above it. She actually was above it, and if she could just have come back down onto it, she would have had that.
This is the way that this needs to be done, I think. I just have to now remind you guys about the overall title here. At the moment, it is a battle between Cecile Avizu and Kim Jae-in for the overall title. Kim Jae-in has successfully taken the gold, I believe, but Cecile Avizu, if she beats Kim Jae-in here, would take the silver, I believe, in the overall titles. Is that correct, Graham? Talking about the overall title here and the battle between these 2 athletes.
Well, Kim Jae-in has definitely got the gold in the overall, but if Cecile can beat Jae-in in the bouldering, then Cecile gets the silver in the overall. She's already guaranteed at least a bronze in the overall, but as it stands at the moment, Cecile has beaten Yahin, so she is looking possibly at a silver medal in the overall, which of course is great for the home audience.
Well, thank you very much. That was Graham Alderson, the IFSC technical delegate there, just giving us an update on what's happening with the overall title. Cecile there, stoking the crowd, not like they're not already behind her, Sheila. They're already driving her up this wall. Well, here she is, Cecile Avezou, with 50 seconds left on the clock. She had an interesting technique, Josh. She actually went above there. She's getting a handle onto those scoops. Is anyone going to be able to do this problem? This is such an interesting turn of events.
We could end up with one of these, as I say, scientific calculator type moments when if Jain Kim manages to, well, she needs to flash it really, but I was going to say something and then I've just realized that it's not actually accurate. I was going to say if she gets the bonus in less attempts than Cecile, but of course Cecile has a boulder on her. She's got one more boulder than Jain.
Interesting point there from Alex123 saying, I don't think that they should heel hook and they need to toe hook instead on that other one. I'm not sure whether they'd be pushing off from there though, but maybe that is a tactic that could be used. I think Cecile's got the method down. There you are, she is toe hooking there.
So close and her time's up, what a shame.
She knows it as well. And somebody else saying as well, something to definitely get.
Thanking the crowd, she just loves to compete and she is such a...
Guys, something to get excited
person.
about here now is the fact that if Anna Storr comes out and flashes this problem, if by some strike of lightning she comes out and just proves why she is so well known in a few moments' time, she will take the gold. If she flashes. So guys, just to repeat that again, if Anna flashes this in a few moments' time, she will take the gold here. But we are now joined by Kim Jain. But get yourself a towel ready for the sweaty palms in a few moments' time when that happens. Kim Jain now. It's going to be interesting to see how she gets on with this one.
Well, I was saying earlier, I don't wish the girl any ill at all because she's obviously a fantastic athlete, but I cannot see, on the strength of any of the bouldering competitions I've seen her do, I cannot see her getting the jump onto the bonus.
Are you talking about Kim there, or are you?
Yeah,
you are talking about Kim here. It's going to be interesting to see how she attacks this this problem, whether she's going to end up using the same method or not to Cecile Avezou a few moments ago. Kim Jain, the shortest climber in this competition. Sheila, is there any other way of going about this? Is there a different method that could be used here, or is it just all about that reach?
Well, if the best climbers...
Wait! We have seen something exceptional.
Oh
we have
my
seen
God,
something
she
exceptional.
proved me wrong, of course.
This is exactly what we want to see here. It's Kim Jain has managed to stick that push-up onto the sloper. Can she hold it here?
Okay,
now, we're moving up onto the one that you were talking about.
She doesn't want the big one, she wants the small
deception?
one.
She needs to go for the button, the smaller one underneath, not the deceptive hold above.
And the big handhold that you see above the button really means that they have to be very precise to get the hands on that. She's
done it. She's stuck it there. There is a round of applause happening behind me now from some of the officials. Unbelievable.
That is fabulous. Fabulous.
This is turning out to be
Listen
Kim Jain.
Listen to the crowd.
She flashed the first problem. She couldn't top the second or the third, but where no one else could succeed, Kim Jain shows us how it's done. What an incredible final this has turned out to be.
Jill, it just shows what a champion and a competitor she is. She had nothing really to go for there. She knew she was out the medals. She knows she's won the overall title. She didn't need to do it, but she wanted to do it, and she did it, and she proved me completely wrong, and I'm so happy that she did.
Remember as well, guys, that it's only going to get more intense now as we move on to the next athlete to come out, and that is Anna Stor. They are announcing her right now. This is what it all boils down to. It's going to be the next 30 seconds or so to see what happens here.
Back to the competitor aspect of Zhang Kim, the other thing was she was coming into that fourth boulder after 2 failed attempts, or 2 failed boulders. She could have been in a complete negative headspace and thought, oh, whatever, I've done it. And
but she kept the
but she
positivity
really
out.
went for it, and she pulled it off fantastic.
And she was smiling when she finished as well. The other thing to bear in mind, guys, is that Anna Stor knows that this is now possible. She will have heard that cry from the front of the auditorium, and now coming out, she knows, after hearing so much disappointment for the past 4 or 5 climbs of the other athletes, she knows that this bouldering problem is doable. It all comes down to this. Can Anna make this reach? It's going to happen right now.
She needs to flash it for the gold.
She's got to make that reach. Nope. Which means, ladies and gentlemen, that we have a French gold medal and a French world champion here. Melanie Sandoz takes the gold. We now wait to see what happens with Anna and what will happen for the rest of the podium positions. But if you are joining us from France, you must surely be sitting there with a huge smile on your face right now. Anna Stor takes the World Cup title for this year, but not the World Championships, guys. That's the second attempt for Stor, and it's all going to come down to attempts now. If she can top this problem in her next attempt, again, it comes down to another attempt. She'll take silver. She's got 2 attempts to do it, because if she does do it, she will beat Olga Yakovleva by 1 attempt on a bonus to take the silver medal position. She's got 2 more attempts, guys. If she doesn't do this in 2 more attempts, and if she doesn't do it at all, Cécile Avazou will take the bronze, meaning that we have a double French podium.
Which would so make up for the relative disappointment for the French crowd up until now, where we haven't had perhaps what we expected. We had high hopes for Manu Romain in the lead. He's out. We still have Romain Desgranges. We had.
This is it, Sheila. This is it now.
This is the crunch. Yeah.
This is the 1 attempt. 1 attempt now to take silver. If this does not happen, then all she has to do is top to take bronze. If she can't top this,
that's it.
And remember, this is 1 minute 30 left on the clock. There's not much time left here for her to be able to do this. Anna Stor could be out of a podium position here when she had a chance, when she emerged onto the 4th boulder, of taking gold. She sticks it. This is it. I told you it was this attempt. If she can do this now, she takes silver. This will be her 7th attempt, but if she does it, it'll be down to the bonus. She slips, which means that Olga Yakovleva of Russia takes silver.
I tell you guys, I had to walk away from the table after Anna failed to flash that, because the realization that Melanie Sandoz as this year's world champion, I just was completely overcome. I'm not ashamed to say that I'm crying as I'm speaking to you, because it's a huge relief for the French to have a fantastic achievement for her to be world champion. I'm not a professional commentator. I don't think that's the secret for anyone. Emotion took over, and tears are running down my face as I'm talking to you, and I'm proud to be French.
Man up, Sheila.
Don't care.
Here we are with Anna Stor now, trying to take the bronze medal position away from one of the French athletes. She's got 12 seconds. It's going to come down to this for a bronze medal. It came down to the first attempt, a flash to be able to... Don't encourage the crowd, get on the wall. Don't encourage the crowd, you've got 3 seconds.
I think she has a clock in her head. She's done so many bouldering competitions, and 4 minutes must be kind of the rhythm of her life. She's off.
And that means that Anna Stor, a World Cup...
Ça veut dire qu'on a l'or et le bronze. On a 2 médailles sur le podium ce soir. Et c'est moi qui vais les présenter. Comment je vais faire pour pas craquer, je n'en sais rien.
Now you can cry, Sheila. What a phenomenal final. Say what you just said again to the English audience that are joining us.
Sorry, I was just saying to the French guys, this means we've got 1 and 3 for the French crowd. and I'm going to be doing the official compare for the podium. I don't know how I'm going to keep it together. I'm so overcome.
Well, that decides our medals, guys. That is a gold for France, a silver for Russia, and a bronze for France. 2 medals here at the championships on their home turf for the French athletes. What an incredible final that was. How unbelievable was Kim Jae-in when she came out a few moments ago and managed to top that problem right at the very end. Kim Jae-in, the only athlete to top the 4th one there. Anna Storr, unfortunately, not taking a medal here at the World Championships, despite being the overall World Cup champion for bouldering, the World Cup title owner for bouldering this year. Well, the athletes now emerge to thank the audience for being there and giving them as much support as they possibly can. Guys, what did you think of that? You'll have to excuse my high-pitched voice every now and then. I get a little bit excited by these comps. And there, and she knows it, the crowd know it as well, is our world champion 2012 from Bercy here in Paris, Melanie Sandoz. And what an unbelievable turnout there. The pressure she was under, and she just excelled. And Anna Storr there, patting her on the back. How great to see the World Cup title owner side by side with our World Championship gold medalist as well. Guys, please do remember that every result that we give you in the stream here is provisional, as the lead wall is unveiled for our paraclimbing final for 20 minutes after the event is concluded. Now, I have to get some result checks done now before we can announce to you that those are exactly the results there, because at the moment, from the website, it's showing Anna now in 3rd. It could have come down to the bonus on the 4th problem, but I was sure that Anna only had 2 bonuses prior to the 4th attempt, the 4th problem there. So give us a little while to have that checked. I believe that that was a joint French podium for 1st and 3rd, but we will double check that now and get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Bear with us on that one and we will confirm that for you. Of course, there is still the 20-minute appeal window and we have to wait for that to happen. But guys, don't go anywhere. That was just the start of today's coverage. We're about to start moving into the paraclimbing final here in Paris. So that's another thing that is definitely worth sticking around for. And here is Melanie Sandoz making herself the world champion. Well, guys, I'm going to hand you over to the introductions for our athletes here down in the arena.
Hier, on a un collègue devenu champion du monde avec. T'as réussi à descendre alors? Ouais, ça va toi. Comment t'as fait? Hein? Je suis rigole.
Donc dans l'ordre, j'imagine, dans l'ordre
Heureusement que les Françaises sont au rendez-vous en bloc.
de leur accueil sur scène, et puis Antoine va nous dire, j'ai fêté son anniversaire hier, va nous dire la difficulté, la cotation de la voix.
Chiant. Tu vas où?
7C+, messieurs dames, ça mérite un applaudissement, 7C+.
Un iPhone, c'est le seul coup. Ah ouais, nous ça marche bien, j'ai l'iPhone pour me guider, ça va bien. Tu vas pas tout à l'heure.
On va les laisser évidemment évoluer dans la préparation. On aura un temps minimum aussi pour arriver au sommet de la voie. On va accueillir le premier sous un tonnerre d'applaudissements. Le premier, l'un des meilleurs dans la discipline. Applaudissements s'il vous plaît pour le japonais Mineo Ono.
Well, hello to you guys if you're joining us now in the chat room. Welcome back. We are here now with our final paraclimbing final of the competition. How are we all doing in the chat room? We are still getting those results double checked for you. I'll give you an update on them relatively soon. But for now, we are here with these incredible athletes, and I'm joined by Andy Coulthard, the head coach for the GB paraclimbing team. Andy, good afternoon.
It is good afternoon, even back home. So thank you very much for having us in again, and really looking forward to this final. We've got 4 competitors in this category, and as you can see, they're just getting the Japanese contestant ready for his final climb.
Well, don't worry, Andy has been exceptional at getting into the ISO and having a chat with some of these guys. While we were commentating just a few moments ago on the bouldering that was happening out here. Question already in the chat: how old is Mineo Ono?
Okay, well I can answer that for you. He is 59 years old, and he's been climbing for 19 years.
So we'll start to give you more facts about him as he starts to make his climb. But a 59-year-old climber with one leg is here in the final of the World Championships for paraclimbing. Already you see why this is such an incredible thing to watch. Nice to see Scott still with us, Gandhi still with us as well, Pala still with us. Asking for information about his training regime. Well, I can tell you that Andy also has a bit of information on that one as well, so we'll talk about it as he starts to make his climb here.
Okay, Mino trains in Yamamoto City, mainly indoors. He does a little bit of outdoor stuff, but he prefers his indoor training. And as you can see from the way he's going, he's very focused on what he's doing here, using that limb that he's got to full effect. And yeah, he actually lost his other leg about 15 years ago from bone cancer. So he's recovered from that, and he's been climbing for 19 years, so had to relearn how to climb with just the one limb. And as you can see, he's an absolutely outstanding climber.
Well, I can tell you that not only is this man 59 years old, have we mentioned how he lost his leg? So that was due to bone cancer 15 years ago, and he's now climbing on a 7C difficulty route. So one of the things I was talking about with Tim, one of the IFSC officials here, you can see he's starting to approach the crux now. It's just over the top of the overhang in a few moments' time. One of the things he was saying was that it's interesting to see how certain athletes climb with prostheses the prosthetic limbs that they use, and how some of them don't. Of course, that actual, the fact that he's not climbing there, that could actually be an advantage in certain cases, because of course he's got something to rest it onto against the other climbers. The difference between having the leg there and not, meaning that there is a rest there that wouldn't normally be at that point on your body.
Potentially, but I mean, it's being able to use it. Obviously, you know, it could cause him pain to put pressure on that. However, as a result of not having a prosthetic leg, he is going to be slightly lighter than perhaps a competitor with one. So I think obviously, oh, look at that, fantastic.
But an incredible effort there. He's already set the bar high as we go through into this, our third and final paraclimbing final. And there you can see the kind of audience we are looking at here with the spectators. An absolutely ram-packed arena. It is completely full, guys. We are totally sold out here.
One last thing to say about this competitor is he is actually the defending champion. So he wanted to set a high bar for this because it's his title he's looking to hold on to here.
And there he is acknowledging the crowd that are acknowledging him for showing us how to overcome every possible obstacle, and that includes climbing on this 7C+ on the wall there, well up into the final third section on the wall. And we get ready for our next athlete to come out and join us in just a few moments' time. So we are here now with Urko Carmona Barandrian. And another single amputee without prosthesis comes out to join us on the wall. 31-year-old athlete, Urko.
He's actually our youngest competitor in this final.
And the fact that he's been climbing for 17 years and had an accident 16 years ago, had a traffic accident, so was knocked down and lost the leg only a year after he started climbing. So the majority of this man's climbing career has been continuing after that traffic accident due to the fact that he's been climbing for 17 years.
Urko told me a little earlier that living in Spain, he likes to train outdoors more than indoors because the weather provides that opportunity. He also says it's a lot more cost effective, but he does use indoor centres from time to time to do his training.
Well, let's see whether Urko can move up this wall. As we've just seen Minio move up this wall, let's see whether Urko can try to take a medal away from the defending champion. It's going to be interesting to see how he gets on this route. So yes, we have 4 climbers in this final. There you can see the way that the wall is.
Just a little side fact here about Urko is when he's not climbing, he does enjoy other sports, particularly skiing. And one of his favourites, although climbing is his best, is paragliding. He loves the just taking off from the side of a hill and just floating down. It gives him a real buzz from doing that.
Well, I have just been updated on the results for the women's bouldering final. Remember, there is still a 20-minute appeal window, but I will give you that after we finish the paraclimbing. So I do know it, but for now, let's stay with the paraclimbing. The more important thing that is happening right here now on your screens as he pushes in and up here. Urko trying to give Minio a run for his money. Is he going to be able to do the impossible here and push up
through the crux?
Like he isn't already doing the impossible, but push up through the crux now onto the final third section of the wall, and stay around for that update in a few moments time about the medal ceremony. I think that was almost the exact same point. It might have been a little bit lower to where we saw Minio reach a few moments ago.
I mean, and there is a classic example of the disadvantage that a missing limb can give you. You saw the angle of those handholds. A right leg in that situation to push off and lean your body the other way would have just made those holds far more manageable because of the slope on them. So yeah, these guys really do have to overcome their disability and compensate in a major way for that on the wall. So well done to him.
Well, there is Urko smiling to the crowd, acknowledging them and moving out. So we have 4 amputees in our final here, and only one of them is climbing with prostheses, which means that we do have to bear in mind the coefficiency data as well.
Absolutely.
So again, he could climb higher than some of these athletes. He could even indeed top, and we would still have to take in the coefficiency rating as well before we knew exactly where he was going to be on the medals.
Here we see Sabar from Indonesia coming in.
Now, Andy, what can you tell us about this athlete? Another one of our athletes to climb without using a prosthetic leg.
Sabar is 44 years old, and he's only been climbing for 2 years. So he's relatively new to the sport compared with some of the other athletes that we've seen on the wall so far this afternoon.
But climbing for 2 years, and here in the World Championship finals in Paris. So what an achievement already for this athlete.
Sabar is also climbing here with without a prosthetic and just using the one leg.
Well, tell us about how Sabar ended up losing this leg as we start to talk about how.
Yeah, his accident was actually in 1990, and he was hit by a train, lost his leg through a train accident. Oh, that's such a shame.
Such a shame to see him coming off there. He didn't expect that. You can see he didn't expect that.
Now, I know I can tell you just one more thing about this athlete, that he has achieved greater heights than he did this afternoon. In the last 2 years, he's actually climbed 19,500 feet up to the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro, just with the one leg. So
well, there you are, guys. A man that has only been climbing for 2 years with one leg has managed to top the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro, which is 19,454 feet. So such a shame that he's just come off so early, as he didn't look like he was expecting to come off there at all.
And here we have the American finalist, Craig DiMartino, who's 47 years old here. He's coming onto the platform now.
So we now move on to Craig DiMartino of the US, the only athlete to climb in the final with a prosthetic leg.
Craig's been climbing the longest of all our finalists today. He's been climbing for 23 years.
I would imagine that Craig would have quite a low coefficiency rating, because he still seems to have part of the knee there on the right leg.
That's right.
And that's going to take the coefficiency rating down quite a lot because of the extent of the injury.
Craig's injury was actually caused by a climbing accident. He fell 100 foot, broke his back and his neck, and he had to have them fused back together. The neck fused on its own and the back had to be fused through surgery. So he has to compensate for the loss of a lot of physical movement in his core and in his back.
So a question there from Lyndall in the chat room. Do the 3 athletes climbing without prosthesis have the same coefficiency rating? No, is the answer to that one. they will have a different co-efficiency rating, and that's why we're not going to know, even if Craig tops this, exactly who takes the podium here, because we don't actually know each of the athletes' full co-efficiency rating. So we're going to have to wait for a while before we can tell you exactly who takes the gold and how the medals are going to work. He's looking a bit shaky here, but he's held on, he's managed to secure it. And he is off the wall here. So I can say that currently what I believe will happen now is I think Craig will have a lower co-efficiency rating. I believe that is Craig taking the bronze. I believe that it will therefore mean that Urko takes the silver and that Minio takes the gold. But as I've just said, I cannot give you the exact breakdown of that because we are co-efficiency ratings.
One thing that Craig did say to me before he came on this afternoon was, he says, if you've got a disability or you've had an accident, he says, it doesn't matter what's happened to you. He said, don't give up. Come back and try again. He said, he's through climbing. He said he knows that he can achieve things and that nothing can set him back. So just take that as a huge encouragement, guys, if you're watching and thinking, I'm not going to be able to do that.
If you are joining us and you have had a disability yourself or you suffer from a handicap of any sort and you are watching this thinking, I could never do that, I could never make it here, remember those words. He says, no matter what happens to you, don't give up, come back and try again. And those are the words of Craig DiMartino from the USA. Definitely something for all of us to bear in mind, wherever we are from and whatever walk of life we are from as well. What inspirational athletes have just joined us here in the final paraclimbing final. I will try to get the confirmation as we move into our medal ceremony now here. The Japanese athlete that we just saw, Minio Ono, was indeed 59. Well, what I have to do now as we move towards the medal ceremony and wait for them to set up here is bid adieu to Andy Coulthard, and I'm sure that all of you in the chat room and indeed anyone joining us over on YouTube do come over to ifsc.tv and join us here as well. But I'm sure that you will all join me in thanking Andy Coulthard for being here with us this evening and teaching us a little bit more about how paraclimbing works. Andy, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me in.
And we will announce in a few moments' time exactly who takes the medals here. I'm going to leave you with those words, actually, just one more time, guys, to any of you joining us from anywhere around the world. No matter what happens to you, don't give up. Come back and try again. And we will be back and trying again in just a few moments' time as I leave you with the MC for the medal ceremony. See you shortly, guys. The one thing that I did promise you was an update on the medal situation, which you are about to see as we go into our medal ceremony on the women's boulder category. I know a lot of you are waiting for that one. Remember, we've still got the men's lead coming just shortly. Well, I can tell you we have reviewed the videos from the women's bouldering final. And we agree with the IFSC officials, not that they're waiting for us to agree before they're made official, but we did actually look back at the footage from the third boulder to see Anna Storr secure that bonus, and I can tell you now that she did manage all of those 4 bonuses, which means, unfortunately, despite what we said earlier, we do apologise, Cecile Avizu does not take bronze. Anna Storr, the World Cup title owner for this year in the bouldering, takes the bronze here in the World Championship. I will try and rephrase that. The World Championships. I do apologise, stumbled on my words then. So yes, that is our podium, and we are about to see that in a few moments' time. For any of you that were confused about it or a little bit baffled, as I was, let's see her just briefly securing that hold, that bonus on problem 3. Here she is now. There is a hand on the bonus, guys, for quite a long while. And despite slipping off almost immediately after moving the second hand up there, it comes down to bonus holds, and that was her securing it. You could see she did have a hand for quite a long time on the bonus hold, bypassed the first slate, went straight for the bonus, and it's given her the medal. So there you are, guys. We were talking about bonus holds and the importance of them. Well, it's decided our podium here at the World Championships. I'm going to leave you now with Sheila as she announces our medal ceremony. I will see you shortly.
Ladies bouldering competition. Mesdames et messieurs, pour remettre les médailles, Monsieur Marcos Colaris, président de la Fédération internationale d'escalade sportive, et Madame Françoise Ducœur, vice-présidente de la Fédération française. To present the medals, Marcos Colaris, president of the IFSC, and Françoise Ducœur, vice president of the French Federation. La médaille de bronze représentant l'Autriche, in bronze medal position representing Austria, Anna Stöhr. La médaille d'argent représentant la Russie, in silver medal position representing Russia, Olga Yakovleva. La médaille d'or et championne du monde d'escalade 2012 représentant la France. The gold medal in 2012 World Climbing Champion representing France. Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez vous lever pour accueillir l'hymne national français. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of France. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2012 World Championship medal winners in the ladies overall competition. Mesdames et messieurs, pour remettre les médailles, Monsieur Pierre Youx, président de la Fédération française de la montagne et de l'escalade, et Monsieur Georges Planchot, président du comité de programmation du Comité national pour le développement du sport. To present the medals, Pierre Youx, president of the French Climbing Federation, and Georges Planchot, president of the French National Sports Development Council's Programming Committee. La médaille de bronze représentant la Suisse. The bronze medal position representing Switzerland, Petra Klingler. La médaille d'argent représentant la France, in silver medal position representing France, Cécile Abzou. La médaille d'or et championne du monde d'escalade 2012 représentant la Corée. The gold medal and 2012 World Climbing Champion representing Korea, Jae-in Kim.
about halfway through the day now here, guys. We just have the paraclimbing medal ceremony to come, and then we'll be taking a short break, and then coming back to you with the men's lead final.
Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez accueillir le podium des championnats du monde d'escalade handisport 2012 dans la catégorie amputée. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2012 World Championship medal winners in the amputee category.
Well, I can tell you, as these paraclimbers are announced now, it was Urko Carmona Barandiran of Spain that takes the gold here, and there you can see who's waiting for the announcement to be made. Minio Ono takes the silver and Craig Di Martino takes the bronze. The height factors have been added and also the coefficiency has been added and taken into account as well. So these are our paraclimbing champions for 2012. I'll leave you with Sheila now as she introduces them.
La médaille de bronze représentant les États-Unis d'Amérique and bronze medal position representing the United States of America, Craig Di Martino. La médaille d'argent représentant le Japon, in silver medal position representing Japan, Mineo Ono. Représentant l'Espagne, the gold medal and 2012 World Climbing Champion representing Spain, Urko Carmona Barandiaran. Nacional Español. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Spain.
comment there in the chat room saying, look at the sportsmanship of the Spanish climber, and absolutely that was definitely a beautiful moment there as the three different nations and three different athletes came together with their three different handicaps as well. Similar in Amputee, amount there, but different methods. Munia Oa hit by a train, one of them in a climbing accident as well, and one of them in a traffic accident. But here now with us, proving that there is no such thing as disability. There's only ability and making the most out of yourself. So guys, I'm just briefly going to give you the next question now, which is, can you give us the podium of Paraclimbing Final 3? Can you give us the podium of the Paraclimbing Final 3? And get over onto the site there and do it there. We will see you very, very shortly.
So remember, for information for Paraclimbing.
Today, Top 30 is the only company in the world able to design, produce, set up and manage a top-level competition. Everything within the same company. Everything with the trustworthiness and professionalism that an official competition requires. Everything Top 30. Top 30.